Hello everyone, and welcome to Dream Team. I'm Trent Lenkarski,
And I'm Alice Langlois.
and we are on episode 7 of Dream Team.
So
Whoa.
exciting.
Yeah,
I was just telling Trent I'm so proud of us for keeping up with this since the beginning of the year, basically. I think it's really cool that we've gotten this far.
yeah, no, I agree. It's a lot of fun checking in on dreams, and it's definitely given me more inspiration to write them down and keep track of them.
It's honestly been helping me too. I've been paying a lot more attention, and I already have a dream journal, but
Yeah,
it's been making me think about them a lot more. I feel like I stopped, once I started at my job, I kind of stopped dreaming as much because I think I'm just more exhausted all the time, which is kind of a bummer. I had a lot more cool dreams in college, but I think it's been slowly improving now that I've been doing this because I've just been a little bit more conscious of it.
interesting.
I don't know.
Yeah, I feel that too. I feel like it comes and goes in waves. Where I have months of really good dreams, and then somewhere I just don't have any.
Yeah, I think it
Weird
just
periods
depends
of
on how
time.
good my sleep is.
Yeah, definitely.
But I have a cool one to share. It's a little bit older, but it's pretty early in my dream journal from around 2017. But
Okay.
I was reminded of it by, I think, last episode, Moen's dream about the clown. Do you remember?
Oh yes, of course.
And how they were checking on their phone. There was a clown in the logo that they were trying to draw.
Yeah.
That reminded me of a dream that I had where I had to use my smartphone. I thought you might be interested to hear.
Yeah, a weird stress dream reality fusion.
Sort of. Here, I guess we'll just have to find out.
Okay.
I was walking around in an altered version of my house. Then, part of the walls and floors fell away before me, opening up to a massive sea of clouds below. Above, I saw a flock of yellow birds, and above that were blimps and skyboats in shades of blue, green, and yellow, with more birds and clouds swirling around them. I took photos on my smartphone. Then, the cloud sea below me parted to reveal a harbor city with sprawling docks for all the airships. Suddenly I was thrown over it, flying along the length of the city, and I woke up. However, I was still dreaming, a dream within a dream. I looked at my phone, and the photos of my house and the cloud sea were still there. I felt unsettled, almost a sense of dread, as I tried to investigate how this was possible. Then I really woke up, and the photos were gone from my phone.
Whoa.
It was really weird.
Yeah, that is very trippy.
It would have been less trippy if there wasn't that in-between part where I did check my phone and the photos were still there.
Yeah.
But the fact that I woke up, didn't realize I was still dreaming, and was just oh shit, if I have these pictures on this phone, what is that? Does that mean I really went there? And I felt so freaked out.
Yeah.
And scared, and I was this is weird, I'm gonna have to figure this one out. And then I woke up and I was just oh shit, again? And I checked my phone and they were gone, and that was actually disappointing.
Yeah.
It wasn't scary or anything when I actually woke up, but I was just sort of sad. I was oh.
God, that'd be so great. What would you do?
If the pictures were still on my phone?
Yeah, I feel like I actually dreamed this and I actually have a photo of it.
I don't know what I would do, but I think I would have that sinking feeling in my stomach.
Mm.
I would just feel something about the way that I understand the world to work is not true.
Yeah.
And that would be very disturbing to me. But I think it would also be kind of thrilling because to have the possibility of another reality existing would be very exciting to me.
Yeah. Would you go to a scientist?
A scientist? But what even kind of scientist would I go to?
Biologist.
Okay. I mean, my partner's a biologist, and if I showed him those pictures, he'd be I don't know.
He'd be oh, cool.
Cool
picture.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, what? Did you make those
Thanks for showing me.
Did you make those in Photoshop? I think if I went to a scientist, they'd just think I'm crazy, right? If I went to someone and said, I went here, how would I be able to prove it?
No, you didn't.
How would I be able to prove it? We have like AI
Yeah.
art now and stuff. Like,
Mm.
I don't know.
I went here. No, you didn't.
No,
Oh,
no, you
okay.
didn't. Please go
sorry.
now. Please leave my laboratory.
Okay, I'll leave. Sorry.
How did you even get in here anyway? Who let you in? I think I would just figure out how to go back. If it happened, if I felt like it happened in a dream, I guess I'd just sleep and try again.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was a weird one.
No, that is weird. Very cool though.
Mm-hmm.
I have one. Not. I guess mine kind of similar. A little realism in mine. It starts at like my apartment that I'm at now. And part of my apartment, like, I'm like kind of at the back between a few different buildings, but there's kind of like an alleyway that I can see down. So I was like in my room, and all of a sudden, like, I like heard yelling, and I like look out the window, and I see these like two guys fighting. This is in the dream. This isn't real life. Sorry.
Oh no, you saw two guys fighting?
Yeah. No, but yeah, in the dream I saw these two guys fighting, both like kind of just normal looking guys. But like it was pretty clear like one guy was like a little bigger and like kind of started the fight. And then kind of partway through them like tussling, like my perspective kind of switched to the guy that was being like attacked, and it was kind of scary. But then I just started running, and I forget if it was like me controlling him or if it was more just me like observing like from his eyes. But either way, I started like running, and I was like running down the street, and I think I ran into like a kind of a fancy hotel, and it was like kind of like old fashioned like art deco style inside the building. I was just like running, and like I didn't see the guy behind me, but it felt like I was running for like at least like 10-15 minutes. So I was like, all right, there's no way he's still behind me, like there's no way he's followed me. And like just to be safe, like me or the guy that I was inhabiting the body of, I went to like a reading nook, you know, like kind of like a window, but like offset, like in a hallway kind of, so like jutting out with like windows, but it like had curtains, so you could kind of be like closed off from the world just like in this little reading nook. And there were like these kind of white or like beige curtains, and then like so I was just like, you know, kind of hiding there for a second, and then I see like a shadow, and I'm like, oh no.
Oh.
And there was just like a long like tense pause, and then all of a sudden there was like a gunshot like just above like where my headline was. And there was just like this, you know, like a hole and like black smoke like kind of around
Oh my gosh.
part of the curtain like right above me. And then there was like another long tense pause, and then I woke up.
Oh my gosh. That's
Yeah.
so scary.
I know, it was so like cinematic.
No, that's very like, you basically like body jumped.
Yeah, it was weird.
Did you feel like you?
I don't know.
Like,
I'm like,
okay, the guy who was getting attacked is Trent now, or like you just went into his body and were him now?
Yeah, I'm feeling like it was more like I was just observing more than anything, I guess. But like I kind of had the same thoughts where I was like, okay, yeah, I'm running. There's no way he's behind me, you know. It's like I definitely had that kind of thought.
You were like observing his actions and also kind of observing his thoughts.
Yeah, that's how I'd describe it. Yeah.
That's so scary. The shadow behind the curtain. I don't like that.
Yeah, no, it's scary. But like even though it was really like scary and stressful, it was like almost weirdly enjoyable. like thinking back on it, like reading my notes. And this was recent. We're recording this on the 4th, and I had this on the 1st, so I had this like 3 or 4 days ago.
Right,
So,
you texted me that you had a crazy dream. I see.
yeah, I was like, I have a good one for the next episode.
I really like that
Yeah.
you mentioned that it was enjoyable. I think that this is something that like I've tried to express to people sometimes, because like a lot of my dreams that I remember fondly aren't exactly happy dreams. Like,
Right.
they're not, oh, like I was hanging out with my best friend, or I got to spend some time with my family, or I like did this really fun thing, or like
I was on the moon with Van Gogh. We were painting and
yeah, it was all very chill and relaxing, and also Bob
yeah.
Ross was there.
Yeah.
It's like usually something that is pretty stressful sounding, like I'm on a chase, or like last episode's dream, like I had to do this crazy heist, or
Yeah.
I'm on some kind of mission, and like if that was happening to me in real life, it wouldn't be fun.
No.
I would be really scared. But something about having a
If I was
dream
getting
like that,
chased, I would start crying.
yeah, no, I would probably just stop and like and probably just like curl up into a ball. But
Yeah.
something about having a dream like that and like waking up, there's like this sort of exhilarating, like that was exciting. Like I got to go on this little adventure, kind of like a video game where it's like
Yeah.
you're this character, and it's not actually a life or death situation. You're playing a game. And sometimes my dreams feel like that.
Yeah. No, I feel
And it's
that.
like it's fun.
It is, yeah, kind of like a video game. That's the best way to describe it, really.
Hmm.
It's like I wouldn't want to be in a zombie apocalypse, but playing a video game where it's like, oh, I get to like run around and hunt zombies, and sometimes they jump out and scare me. Is like fun sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah. I think a lot of my dreams are like that.
Yeah, it's like that for free,
In my brain.
and you don't get to choose what game it is.
Yeah. Sometimes it'll be your favorite game. Other times it'll be the
The
worst game on the shelf.
ever. Sometimes it's just boring. Yeah.
I'm playing. Yeah. I had a dream, and it's just basically me playing The Sims in my head, but it's
Yeah.
my real life. Great. Awesome. Can I have a cool
Thanks,
one,
brain.
please? But yeah, that's
I don't
amazing.
know.
That's something for sure. The ending gives me
Yeah.
chills.
Cinematic dream.
Love a good cinematic dream. Props to your brain for the action shots and cinematography. I can see you sitting there like with your back against a window and just like looking up, and there's like a bullet hole,
Mm-hmm.
and then like the curtains are slightly like waving.
Mm.
Spooky.
Yeah.
Hey, do you have a craving for a dream fact?
Yeah. I think I do.
'Cause I got some fresh ones from the market.
Oh, wait, let me check. Yeah, no, I do have a craving. Yeah.
Great. I wanted to do a follow-up.
Mm.
I know we were kind of joking around last episode, but we were talking about briefly if plants can dream.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I kind of already knew the answer before I looked it up, but I thought I would anyway, just to see where it led me. And
Do they dream?
probably not.
Oh.
If plants can dream, we haven't figured out how to tell.
Mm-hmm.
The main thing is that they don't really sleep like we do.
Mm.
They don't have a central nervous system,
Right.
and the way that we define sleep involves having a central nervous system.
A
So
brain.
there's a yeah, there's a pretty big
Yeah, that makes sense.
difference, I think. But it was interesting. I mean, I did find out a lot about how plants sleep, which is, I think,
Yeah.
related. It's pretty cool. They don't completely go to sleep like we do, but they stop photosynthesizing at night, and some plants even close their stomata, which are like the little pores they use to absorb carbon dioxide.
Oh.
So they basically stop eating and making food, and they sort of spend the night kind of portioning out what they made during the day to help them get through the night.
Okay.
And they have really strong like circadian rhythms, so that they know when it's day and when it's night, and when the days are getting longer or shorter, and the seasons are changing. And so it is kind of cool. And without those sleep periods, they wouldn't like be able to maintain that rhythm and like tell the passage of time. So it's really important that they have those periods of sleep every night. So that's a fun fact.
The sun is like why they're alive, so they need
to know when it's coming up.
Right, yeah.
But I was kind of just doing some free association, and I wanted to look into plants that make you dream.
Oh.
And there's a word for it called onerogens. So any substance that can affect the way you dream or make you dream more vividly is called an onerogen. And it's, I think, probably a lot of the stuff I've read about dreams has that kind of onero prefix, and I think oneros is like the Greek word for dream.
I don't know if I'm here. Is it Neros or like Neuros? What is it?
Oneros?
Oh, okay.
It's spelled Oneeiros.
Oh, okay. I see.
So, onerogen is
interesting.
Has that root. And I mean, there's a lot of things besides plants that are onerogens. A lot of medications, even very common things like Benadryl, can affect the way that you dream. But yeah, I was really interested. There was like a huge list of things considered to be onerogens. Some of them, like mugwort, which I am familiar with, and wild red asparagus were on the list without any citations, so I don't know if they actually make you dream or not, or if it's just sort of anecdotal. I think mugwort is like, I think used to be in absinthe, or it was one of the ingredients in absinthe. And that has like a stereotype of like making you like hallucinate, which is sort of a myth.
Not true.
Yeah. It just
it's just that I did not hallucinate. It's just alcohol.
It just tastes like licorice.
Yeah.
But I think the myth comes from one of the ingredients used to be this plant mugwort, which purportedly can make you have weird dreams or hallucinate.
Interesting.
And then the only thing for the red asparagus was that it's supposed to make you have dreams about flying specifically, which is very niche information. But there was no citation, so I'm not sure if that's true. However, what I found to be really interesting were these two plants in the list that did have citations and articles about them. One of them is called African dream root, and then the other one's just called dream herb, and it's also known as bittergrass. And these are both plants that are actually used, like still used to this day, in Africa and Central America, respectively, for dreaming and divination based around dreaming, or even just to help you remember your dreams better. I don't know if any like extensive studies have been done on them, but they have been used by people in Africa and Central America in all sorts of ways, in like rituals or by shamans, to help you dream better. And I thought that was really cool.
Interesting.
And yeah, just like a plant that's called dream root or dream herb sounds very magical and cool. And I think that it's like neat that their common names are tied to these cool like traditions.
Definitely.
But yeah, there wasn't a lot of information on if they actually work and how, from like a scientific or chemical standpoint. But
or is it like a placebo where it's like, this definitely will make you dream, and then it's like, okay, and then you're like, oh, I did dream?
I have no idea. And you know, when it comes to these like long-standing cultural traditions, I feel like there probably has to be something to it.
Yeah.
It might be something where, you know, they know how it works better than someone like you or I does, and that's totally valid. And
Right.
You know, I don't have to understand it to trust that it works and
Yeah.
like,
True,
you know,
true.
helps them in some way. But I thought that was really, really neat. And I've never experienced anything, at least as far as I can remember, any medication or food or anything like that changing the way that I dream. But it's interesting that there are definitely things out there that like actively can, like there are certain chemicals that change the way you dream, and if you consume something that changes those chemicals, it can actually make you dream more vividly or more lucidly, which
One
is
that
interesting.
I have personal experience with is, well, it's not a plant, but like, or I don't, is it a plant? Like melatonin.
I
Like
mean,
I've
it's
taken
probably
melatonin
you
before.
could probably get it from a plant. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know, but I've definitely taken that before and had like crazy dreams.
And you notice it specifically when you take melatonin?
Yes. Yeah. It like gives you like a really deep sleep, and then I've at least like 5 or 6 times I've definitely had like really crazy dreams on it.
That totally makes sense. I mean, you probably spend more time in REM sleep
Yeah.
when you take it.
Yeah, that would make sense.
I'll have to check that list of neurogens and see if it's in there, but I don't doubt that it is. Let's see. There's so many. Melatonin. It is in there.
Oh.
Melatonin may cause vivid dreams as a side effect.
Mm-hmm. I think it's like a thing you naturally produce as like a hormone.
Yeah, no, yeah. It's like your body makes it to help you go to sleep.
Sometimes you don't make enough of it, and you gotta take some more.
Mm-hmm.
What were Could you read out some other ones from the list, just for examples?
I'll read ones that I think you might know, or that just seem interesting. A lot of them are medications. Oh, I didn't even see this one. Amanita muscaria. Do you know that?
That sounds familiar. What is that?
It's a kind of mushroom, and it's like the classic like Mario mushroom, like red with white spots.
Okay.
That's the only reason I know I have that memorized. But it has a chemical that could possibly cause more vivid dreams. Although I've heard it is, I mean, like you're not supposed to eat it. Like it's toxic. So
okay.
I don't think it's worth.
Yeah, if it looks like a cartoon mushroom.
Yeah, disclaimer on this dream fact: don't actually eat any of these things.
Yeah.
Because this Wikipedia article is super sketchy, and I'm just using it as a jumping off point. Belladonna, that makes sense.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's also very toxic. I mean, a lot of these might give you crazy dreams because they're poison.
Yeah.
Which is why I said that disclaimer. There's this dextromethorphan. Don't know the pronunciation, but the main ingredient in many cough syrups, and I have heard people taking cold medicine and cough syrup having weird dreams or having just like weird sleeps.
Right. Yeah.
Kind of same thing with Benadryl. Let's see.
The Hat Man.
Melatonin, nutmeg.
That's like some meme. If you take too much Benadryl, you see the Hat Man.
Yeah. No, I mean it's a meme, but also I think it's because that you actually might see the Hat Man if you take too much Benadryl.
Because he is real.
Yeah. I wonder, does it say?
No. Oh yeah, right here in the article.
Benadryl can invoke. No. Benadryl can invoke an intense hypnagogic REM-like microsleep, often indifferentiable from reality. It accomplishes this by blocking various receptors in the brain.
Oh, jeez.
So that sounds conducive to sleep paralysis, right? Where it's like you can't tell that it's not reality. So that's probably why the Hat Man is there.
Yeah. Like hypnagogic is like the weird state like right between dreaming and awaking.
And that's where you get stuck in sleep paralysis, I think.
Yeah.
Not good.
Yeah. again, as a disclaimer, don't don't mess around with stuff.
Yeah, I'm just talking. I wanted to just talk about
we're just talking about it because it's
cool
interesting.
traditional plants, but it is interesting that we have found, and I mean this is how medicine works a lot of the time, is that we'll figure out that a medicine works for something, and then people will start reporting that it's doing something else, and then we'll realize it can also change other parts of our body.
Right.
I mean, like, there are medications that were invented for, like, seizures, but ended up being really great for high blood pressure. Oh, hi, Punchy. Hi, baby. So it is really interesting that, in this list of both, like, plants and chemicals and medications, at some point during their use, enough people were like, hey, this is making me have weird dreams, just so you know. That they're considered possible neurogens. So, cool fact. Something that makes you dream weird is called an neurogen.
Very good. Thank you for researching that.
Yeah, of course. Do you want to start off our cool dream submissions this week?
Yes, definitely. And before I do that, I want to say two things. The first one is if you want to send one of these to us, you can send them to dreamteampodcastsubmissions at gmail.com. That's where you can send these. And the second one is, if you're going to send one, on the next episode, we're going to kind of do a more themed one. We're going to kind of focus on like first dreams or dreams from like early childhood. Like I have a very vivid memory of one of my first dreams as like an infant, or I don't even know if I was an infant, maybe more like a toddler, but just dreams from like early life. So if anyone has any of those, feel free to send them in. We'd really appreciate it. But yeah.
Yeah, if you haven't felt like you've been able to submit anything to our email yet, this is a really good opportunity. It doesn't have to be any dream that you've had recently or even anything particularly interesting, but see if you can remember the first dream you've ever had, because we'd be really curious to see how far back people can remember their dreams, and if so, what they were about.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, we'll get started on some of the submissions. All right, so this first submission comes to us from Ty, and Ty writes, just woke up a bit ago, here's my dream. Was hanging out at some docks with two friends, and there was a huge enchanted looking forest where the docks were, so we went and ran around in there for a bit. It was very warm feeling. There were these huge twisted trees and soft grassy hills. Little light rays would shine through from the gaps between the leaves. Me and one of my friends found a couple of giant holes in the ground with a honeycomb-looking pattern around it. One of the other guys that was with us yelled to us that it was a hornet's nest and to be careful not to step on any wet hornets. I don't know why the hornets were wet, by the way. We quickly got away from the holes and went back to the docks. We told the guy about the nest, and they checked it out and estimated it to be about 30,000 feet deep. One of my friend's grandfathers had a boat by the docks, so we decided to hang out there. We ate cup ramen and talked for a bit. It got darker and all the boats that were at the dock opened up their shops. I bought some stuff from my friend's grandpa's shop, and so did they because they had a bin with a bunch of cool stuff that was about $2 per item. My friend got a call about a tapestry they ordered earlier. The people said they were having trouble making it and they would be over soon to talk about it. So those guys show up and want them to take a look at it, but my friend asks me to go instead. I go with them and help them make the tapestry. Then they tell me that they have to protect the pyramids of Egypt, and I have to go down there and place the boundaries that would make it so no one could damage them. I go there and place the boundaries, but after I'm done, they tell me there's been a mistake, and now on the radar, when you go over to the area I marked, it says my name instead of what these guys wanted the name to be. I go back to my friend's grandpa's boat and tell him about it. Then I go off the boat and walk into an area that puts you inside a video game. It was kind of like Cuphead, but with pixel art instead. It was very stressful because I kept almost dying. After I had enough of that, I walked back out and started going home. Then I realized I left all the stuff I bought on the boat, but I woke up before I could do anything else. A bit of a hectic one.
I know. I loved just how purely chaotic that one was. And also just like a very quintessential, just like someone telling you their dream. And it's just like, I was here and then I was there and then this thing happened and somebody told me this and I did a completely different thing. Yeah,
that's like just the epitome of a dream.
That's why I picked it. My favorite moment was just imagining some guy coming up to a hole and just looking down and be like, yeah, that's about 30,000 feet deep.
Yeah.
Like, that's literally, like, you wouldn't be able to see that far. That's a bottomless pit. And you're just like, yeah, it's about 30,000 feet.
That's funny. And then just the part where it's like, oh, we need your help to make this tapestry. Also, you have to protect the pyramids now.
We have to protect the pyramids of Egypt. And you're the only one who can help us. Also, you did it wrong.
Yeah. It just says your name now.
I kind of imagined it like, you know, like in Minecraft where you can claim chunks.
Yeah.
You can claim an area and it just says like your username on it when you enter it.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining like they probably wanted it to say like pyramids of Egypt. And then it just says Thai. It's like, wait a second.
Yeah. Very good.
Anyway,
thank you, Ty.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much.
Good submission.
I have one from Crayfish.
Crayfish.
Didn't know that Crayfish could send emails, but I think that's pretty awesome. Crayfish says, howdy do. Alice, Trent, I hope you're well. Got a dream fresh out of the oven for you.
Oh, it's still hot.
Oh, ow. Gotta blow the steam off it. I was on a road trip with my brother, an old friend of ours, and our parents. I was driving us in my car and the brakes were going out. I kept running lights and other close calls were happening on a regular basis due to the brakes. None of my passengers were fazed by this. I was anxious and trying to hold it together. At one point, I was on a road reminiscent of a pump track. Snowboarders were riding it in front of us as we drove. Definitely on asphalt, not snow. I was scared of hitting one if they fell, as we were all moving in an unintentional formation. Eventually, my dad took over driving, and things improved slightly. And by improved, I mean my anxiety. Pretty sure the brakes were still poop. Eventually, we stopped at a CVS pharmacy. My brother, our friend, and I robbed the CVS. They ran in and grabbed a product of some kind, while I threw handfuls of Tide Pods over the aisles from outside. The store was set up in a way that the exterior walls were all shelving with no roof. I don't recall what was taken, but I was very worried for the rest of the trip about police. Our parents had no idea of what transpired, and we never spoke of it again. The last thing I remember was stopping at an auto parts store after. This dream leaves me wanting a sequel. I really want to know if I became a Tide Pod bandit, and if our parents ever found out. XOXO, Crayfish.
Very good.
Yeah. Just so that you're like, show up at a CVS, immediately just start robbing it.
Yeah. I guess we have to rob the place. Sorry.
And gotta take those Tide Pods. You know how much they'll scalp you for Tide Pods at CVS.
Mm-hmm.
Better just steal them.
Oh yeah. I like the beginning part too.
I know, yeah. It's just like
the snowboarders like in front of you on the road.
That's a very classic like driving stress dream. It's just like everything's going wrong, and also there's snowboards in the road. Don't like that.
Yeah.
Somehow snowboarding on asphalt.
Mm-hmm. They know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, thank you, Crayfish.
Thank you. And lastly, we have Evan. And Evan writes, Hey, Alice and Trent. For a bit of context to the stream, A handful of years ago, I used to host gigs for local bands in my basement. Many of these bands would be close friends of mine, and the shows were fun, so this wasn't a source of stress for me. Despite this, though, I had a dream one night that I was hanging out alone in my basement around 9 p.m. All of a sudden, I panicked as I heard a loud noise while the basement door opened up. As I peered up the stairs, I saw multiple people hauling in various types of musical equipment: a bass drum, amps, keyboards, microphone stands, etc. When I asked what was going on, everyone looked at me very confused and said something like, "Wait, don't you know about the gig tonight?" It turned out that in my dream, everyone I knew that played in a band had booked the show in my basement at 9 p.m. and had forgotten to tell me about it. Sweet dreams, Evan.
Thank you, Evan.
Thank you. A classic stress dream.
Yeah. I like imagining, in my head, I'm imagining that Evan knows a lot of people that are in bands.
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh yeah, we just all decided we're all booking your basement for a show at 9 p.m.
30 different.
Yeah, just like a bunch of people, just like tons and tons of equipment. Yeah, thank you, Evan, and thanks everybody for the great dream submissions this week.
Thank you, everyone. Those are all excellent.
And for next time,
yes,
we encourage you all to, of course, send us any cool dreams that you've had. Doesn't matter if they were recently or a long time ago or from when you were a baby or not. But if you can try and remember, what was the first dream you ever had? Or is there any dream that you can remember from when you were really little? Send it to us, because we're going to try and do a special episode next week.
Yeah, it can just be any early dream, early childhood, when you're a baby, whatever. I just think it'd be cool, because I have one specifically that I remember. I'm going to try and see if I remember any other ones, but...
Yeah, I do too. I feel like most people I know have one very memorable dream. I feel like there's a certain point you reach in early childhood where you're able to remember dreams for the first time, and it's usually very jarring and sticks with you, whether it was a good dream or a bad dream. So send us your early childhood dreams. If you know any friends or family who have cool baby dreams or have told you about a dream that you've had when you were a baby that you don't remember, send that to us too.
Definitely. The more the merrier. We usually do 3 dreams, but I could see us doing more, pretty much however many we get.
Yeah, please send us. It doesn't matter how many. And we would love it so much if you told a friend or a family member about Dream Team.
Yeah.
We would love for more people to listen so that we can get a larger listener base and also a more diverse range of dream submissions.
Definitely. Yeah, the more the merrier.
Mm-hmm. Always room in the Dream Team temple.
Yes, always. And again, you can send your dreams to dreamteampodcastsubmissions @gmail.com. And give us a little follow or a bunch of likes on the old Instagram.
Yeah, you can check out our Instagram at Dream Team with Alice and Trent. Every time we make a episode, we try to post some visual aids and drawings sent to us by listeners that have to do with each episode. So check that out.
Alice does a very good job maintaining that page.
Thank you. And Trent does a very good job doing our YouTube page. And if you ever check those out, you can find more cool Dream Team art that we do every week.
Yeah. But other than that about wraps us up for today.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for listening again. We're really glad to have you here with us every 2 weeks. And we can't wait to hear about all your baby dreams.
Thank you all for listening.
Yeah, take it easy.
Sweet dreams.
Have sweet dreams. Remember to get some good sleep.
Good night.